Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Big Bro Lamar Ludy, coming to you from a small screen today. Coming with my little bro, Logan Ludy, as always. Hey, little bro, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm hanging in there, and I'm doing good. I got my health, and I got a way to talk to you, so I'm doing good. All right. Hey, well, we're going to talk about the Last Dance, episode 5 today. And we're going to go ahead and continue our series with Michael Jordan and the Bulls documentary, talking about episode 5. So, little bro, what was your main takeaway? We're at the midway point of this beautiful, wonderful documentary that everyone's been talking about. What was something that you took from this episode going into this episode 5?
Well, in this episode 5, we're getting into, the dream team, the first formation of all the NBA players on a Olympic team and going overseas to compete against the world. I thought it was cool how this was the beginning of the NBA's expansion into other countries, and having the game being showed around the world and having the whole world see the best players that America produces, and just helping the game grow globally, and to how it is now, how we have top draft prospects coming in overseas to be top picks, and showing what they can do on our stage. And I thought that was really cool. We get to see how all the major egos at that time came together and formed a cohesive unit. And I thought it was great. What did you think?
I love that you said that they came together to form a cohesive unit, because if you watch the Bulls documentary, in the beginning they weren't cohesive. We have times where, especially, and I love probably my favorite part of the episode was the fact that when they came together and they finally got those practices going with Chuck Daly as the coach, that we're seeing, arguably the best basketball players of any era, the greatest collection of talent. You can make the argument that this is the greatest collection of talent singularly across any era of basketball. And they're going to war on the court in a way that's never been seen, before, and probably hasn't been seen since. Because when you compare this Olympic dream team with more recent dream teams, the guys that we have playing nowadays, the talent level's there, but that the competitive fire that is based on not being friends, not friendship, not friendly competitiveness. I'm not saying that the guys from today's game are not competitive. I'm not saying that at all. But there was a genuine disdain amongst the original Dream Team guys, Dream Team players. There's a genuine disdain for each other when they went in there. And I really think that has a lot of weight, and that carried a lot of weight for me when I was watching that episode. I remember the '92 Olympics. I remember that team being put together, and I just think that that collection of talent. It's amazing to see what they could do when they come together. I wish I could have just been a fly on the wall, and I'm glad we've seen a little bit of footage, but I wish I could have just been a fly on the wall to watch that game of their scrimmaging. You've got Jordan, you've got Magic, you've got Barkley, you've got Malone, you've got Ewing, you've got Robinson, Pippen, Drexler, John Stockton, Chris Mullin, Bird. That collection of names alone, it just carries so much weight. I wanted to ask you about this because we were talking with Dad in a previous video about Tony Kukoc.
Yeah.
And I want to know what you thought, because they played the Croatian team twice. Now he brought up in that previous video the fact that they shut down Tony Kukoc the first time they met. But I want to know how you felt when they met again in the championship game and Tony Kukoc had a much different performance. I want to know what you felt about that.
Well, he showed up to play. Unlike last time, he didn't know what to expect. That first go around where they were just, they got up on him and didn't let him touch the ball, and that second go around, normally when you play an opponent the second time, you have a feel of what they're going to try and throw at you and how you can try and counteract that. I thought he played a much better game. He played a much better game than that first one. He showed a lot of more talent, a lot more heart. He showed that he can play the game at their level, because I don't think that was a big blowout win for the Dream Team that time around anyway. But I just, Tony Kukoc is what became a big part of what the Bulls went on to do later on in the years. And as in our past video, you know, Dad didn't want to give Tony Kukoc that much respect, but he can play in this league. He can play.
Yeah.
You know, he averaged 18 points a game, I think, that one season, or the time he was with the Bulls. He could play. I mean, you can't dispute that fact that he can play in this league. He can play the game of basketball just flat out.
I think that's a big step towards the rest of the world, and we'll talk about this in the future videos of this Bulls documentary. But how the rest of the world has how far they've come in respect to being able to compete. I mean, there's that one moment, I don't know if you noticed it, but when the Dream Team's getting ready to walk off the floor, and one of the opponents reaches out to Jordan, he's like, "Can I have your armband?" And then he slides the armband off and gives it to him. I mean, that just goes to show you that first Olympics with the Dream Team, the rest of the world was in awe, but and bowing before them, essentially bowing before them. But now, if you fast forward to the Olympics today, these other teams are coming out with guys that can compete, with guys that can play. The game of basketball globally has, you know, I mean, it's the second most popular sport in the world, behind soccer or football if you're in another country. But that speaks a lot to, and Tony Kukoc was one of those trailblazers, so to speak, for the Europeans to come over to the NBA and have a lot of success.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I think that's a really important thing to note. And like you said, I mean, later down the line, he's an integral part of what the Bulls are trying to do. What did you think about Jordan covering himself in the American flag to cover up the Reebok symbol? What did you think about that?
Well, during that era, there was more loyalty to, a brand or franchise, because he was under contract by Nike, and he did not want to wear another brand's product to make money off that, which I understand from that aspect. I mean, it's only a one-time thing. You're for representing, the country and whatnot, but that's just how Michael Jordan is. He didn't want to wear that thing, and I think they said that he was supposed to wear it so that it could be shown, and he just said, "All right, well, I'm gonna put this flag on, and no one's gonna see it." So that was that was his way of letting them know that you're not gonna tell me what I can and cannot do.
Yeah, it was a tasteful way of doing it. I mean, I believe it was tasteful. It was a tasteful way of doing it, but he still, and like you said, Jordan being Jordan, and to go back to this topic, Jordan being Jordan and the competitive nature of Jordan, and then letting the rest of the team know, me and Scotty got this guy, talking about Tony Kukoc, just because Jerry Krause liked him. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to prove something to you. And I think that's the thing that keeps coming out to me over and over again during the course of this documentary, is just how much Jordan can turn on the switch. If he believes he's been slighted in some way, shape, or form, how much of a switch he can turn on to go ahead and prove his point. And I think that's something that's going to separate him from just about every single other player, and what gives him that title of the number one greatest player of all time is that he has that switch that everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And we'll see it come out in the future, and it's already come out here in the past. He's got this switch that he can just turn on where he's like, okay, you did this to me, I'm not going to forget it, and we're going to come out here and have something to prove. So far in the documentaries, this has probably been my favorite one, just because of the fact that it encompasses the United States, it encompasses the amount of talent that was there in that era, in that time span. I mean, these are just some super ultra talented players, and I mean, that dream team is just that. That's a dream team. That's a perfect team that you can assemble, and they can beat you, every single way.
Yeah.
So that was something I really enjoyed watching that particular episode. And I keep thinking of that moment where Jordan's walking down the street in Barcelona, and he looks up, and it's like a mile-high picture of him, plastered to the building. And that's just a cool moment, so far in the series for me.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, all right, man. Why don't you get us up out of here for this episode 5 that just encompassed the Dream Team and what they meant to basketball and to the world, to the world.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, these documentaries are a good part of basketball history. So make sure you guys are watching them. We'll get some more reviews out for you in the next coming days. hey, make sure you guys are not caught lacking in these streets. Hit that subscribe button. Hit it, smash it, destroy it. We're almost close to our first goal of 100 subs now. So keep hitting that subscribe, share it to all your friends and family. Hey, comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the documentary. We'd love to hear from you guys as always, and we'll see you guys in the next video.